Hello viewers, welcome to this week edition of the program. It is Economic Insights and I'm your host Paul Kingsley. Now, in continuation with the ongoing reports we are doing on infrastructure development in Nigeria, today we are taking a topical look at infrastructure deficits in Nigeria. Joining us is a company that are doing so well in the construction industry. I'm talking of Swalis Nigerian Limited. And with us is the Managing Director, CEO, is Engineer Wale Olaleye. He's going to be giving us the challenges, their contribution in the industry, and also looking at possible solutions to the development of infrastructure in Nigeria. It promised to be an interesting conversation. Sit back, relax. I'll be back after this time out.
Swalis Nigeria Limited has distinguished itself to become one of the leading indigenous construction companies in Nigeria, providing qualitative, timely and cost-effective services in engineering, consultancy, building construction and highway construction. Engineer Wale Olaleye is the managing director, a seasoned professional with high taste for quality works.
What Swalis Nigeria Limited is building and civil engineering construction company, which was established primarily to be an active player in the building and civil engineering construction company. And over the years, since its incorporation, the company has been an active player in the construction industry. Oh, thank you very much. I studied civil engineering at Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife, and after graduation I worked with several companies, and I now have the desires of establishing my own company so that all the experience garnered over the years I can also put it into practice, so that my chosen profession I can also be an active participant in it.
Over the years, the company has maintained consistency in building and civil engineering construction works across the nation, with utmost emphasis on the quality and timely completion of projects to standards, specification and client satisfaction.
We've participated in many projects across the country. When I did construction of ASU Secretariat in Abuja, the permanent investor of Abuja. I've done hostel buildings for Federal University of Technology, Minna. We've done a lot of projects with National State University and many other institutions in the country. And the area of, as I've informed you, if I've told you about the World Bank project, we participated fully in Fadama 2 projects in many states. We just deliver about 3 projects in 3 states of Anambra, Niger and Kogi, totaling over ₦1 billion. We also participated in influential projects, community-based urban projects in Kwara State. About 18 kilometers, almost 54 kilometers of road rural access road was done. The last one I said about Kogi is about close to 60 kilometers of rural road were completed. So we've really done well, and the area of rural infrastructure, we have also delivered on water projects. The Federal Ministry of Water Resources, Lower Niger Basin of Development Authority, and many other institutions of government like that. And we are still counting. Thank you very much. Every project comes with its own challenges. But in the area of this rural infrastructure, is so challenging that most of the times you have to work in interland. area where there are no access roads, where there are, but the joy you derive is seeing people for the first time seeing access road crossing to their communities. They are ready to do anything for you to at least make sure that this project comes to fruition. But the challenges, as I've said, is most times, the indigenous construction companies all fail with challenges of funding. Civil engineering works require a lot of equipment, and these equipment are capital intensive. Hardly, when you get this job, the kind of fund that is available will not be able to be enough for you to be able to buy all this equipment. So most of the time you resort to hiring, and we don't have that good system of hiring in place in Nigeria, unlike it's in other clients all over the world, where you have a reputable company that their own is primarily to have equipment for hiring. So that you get a good equipment to hire at a reasonable price is always a challenge here.
Swallows Nigeria Limited is highly equipped with young, dynamic management and technical team with years of corporate and field experience to undertake and execute any given task in its field of endeavors.
Said majorly the kind of project we undertake or we've been doing are mostly funded by these external agencies like World Bank, African Development Bank, and they don't hold. They don't embark on projects they don't have money for. But we also took many Nigerian projects, and as we speak, we're still being held in some agencies. So it has been a challenge for indigenous contractors to survive that kind of environment. Because when you are given a job and you're able to do it, and the money is not forthcoming, at times, even if you have to recourse to loan, you borrow money, and in Nigeria, it's 2-digit interest rates. You borrow such a money and the money is not, take for instance, you have a time limit, maybe 6 months or 1 year to finish a project, and you deliver. Then the payment doesn't come 1-2 years. So the interest will have eaten up all the profit that you're supposed to make on the project. So it's a big challenge, and I believe government should look into that. When you are giving out a job, be sure that the money are available for the job. And when you give a job and the certificate is raised for payment to contractors, the agencies giving out the job should do the needful so that they pay on time and so that the project will not even be delayed. Because when you do a job and the certificate is raised for work done, you expect it to be paid. Even if our condition of contract is stipulate 28 days, but it's not being followed here. So it's a big challenge for you to survive, because the profit margin will have been eaten up by the interest on the loan that you borrowed to execute a job. As we normally say in Nigeria here, we have good policies and programs. We are not lacking in the area of good policies and programs in all facets of our life in this country. The only thing we are lacking is the implementation. The Public Procurement Act is a very good one, but how are we implementing it? Government agencies, parastatals, ministries, how are they implementing it? So government has to up their games in this regard, because it's a challenge. The Procurement Act is to give people, everybody, a level playing ground to compete, and whoever is giving out a job is giving out to a competent contractors. That's why there's a procedure for pre-qualifications for a job below 300 million. Pre-qualification means getting the best contractors to hand the job, to be able to do the job. And after doing this, you give it to the lowest responsive tender. Yeah. But, as I've said, how are we implementing these policies? So to me, the policy is okay, but the implementation is not that okay.
Indigenous contractors in Nigeria have recorded a low level of participation and have often been sidelined in large-scale construction activities. The question now asked is, are indigenous companies competent enough to be trusted?
It's been a big challenge because I believe nobody can develop a country for us. Nobody can claim to love this country more than ourselves. And it pains me at times when I see the kind of thing that is going on here. We have professionals, sound and qualified professionals in all fields in this country that are doing excellently well. And they can, and when you look at even the so-called foreign contractors, or what they call them, the people that are really doing the job are still Nigerians. But they bring in few expatriates to just lord themselves over them. And I believe government should look inwards. I think the federal government, the President Muhammadu Buhari just signed a executive bill, it's order 6, that talk about the local content. Local content in terms of patronizing in Nigerians. I don't want people to refer to us as local contractors. Nigerian contractors, not local contractors. Because this is our country. And you can't call us local. And we have the same training as anybody can compare in all over the world. So we should be given a level playing ground to also contribute our quota. As I'll give you an example. Most of the foreign contractors that are here, they use Nigerian money to develop themselves. Most of them don't bring foreign capitals here. You give a job of, say, 15 billion to a contractor, and you give him 15% mobilization. That's close to 2.something billion naira. With that one, you can be able to buy equipment, even of 1 billion naira on it. So you'll be able to, and this equipment will last you for over even 5-10 years, which is an asset to you. So if I know there are a lot of contractors in Nigeria, because everybody believes the way to make money is being a contractor, but there are professionals in contractors. People, the firm that are being run by professionals, they are quite different from all these bag and carry contractors that just get job everywhere. There are some seasoned professionals that are made in these companies. If you try them, you will see the way they go. I know people have said that maybe Nigerian contractors have failed, but how many have you tried? Have you given them the level playing ground the way you are giving the foreign professional, the foreign companies as well? Give all these foreign, and most of these foreign companies you even see in Nigeria, even their home country are even supporting them. You are supporting them. So if you give us all this level playing ground, I believe we will also perform creditably well. Some of us are performing creditably well, even considering the harsh economic environment that we find ourselves. We are still surviving. I believe in that there's need for synergy, professionals to muster, and no company had it all. Even the so-called foreign contractors, foreign companies, by the time they have a challenging job, they look for professionals elsewhere. They source. So likewise, indigenous can also source. We are in a global village now. You can easily, on the price of bottle, you can get whatever you want. But you can't just employ professionals when there are no jobs. How are you going to pay them? Because you want to run a company and you get an array of professionals in your company and you don't have the resources to pay them. You only pay from the contracts that be given to you. So that's how it is done all over the world. So, but I still agree with you that we professionals in the industries need to come together. If there is a way of coming together and form a solid company, at least it will help in the long. It will help. It will help. As I've said, if you want to draw a statistics of contractors in Nigeria, it's run to thousands. So definitely you cannot categorize all of us as failures. Even that your assertions now that they lack managerial skill or the other, they are good Nigerian companies that are doing well, have good structures in place, and they are doing well. As I've said, all we need is patronage. I can tell you most of big contracts in Nigeria today, talk of Federal Ministry of Works and the rest, goes to foreign companies. At least 80 to 90% goes out to them. But with the efforts of the president now, which is at least local content, I believe they should continue to patronize us and see. And I said, when you give a job to a contractor and you follow through, that contractor will deliver. The contractor has done a job, he's due for payment, he got his payment on time. I don't think any serious-minded contractors that will not deliver on the job. This year alone, There have been an incessant building collapse in Lagos, in Delta, in Ibadan, and talk of. But when you look at all these building collapses, most of them are private-owned buildings. And most private owners don't want to pay bill in Nigeria. They resolve to give it to whoever, maybe their cousin, their uncle, or whoever. And most of the time, most of these building collapse, hardly can you find a professional, be an architect, a builder, a civil engineer, on that project. Let's just want to do a building and just give it to somebody. But that boils down to our enforcement. There is no state that does not have federal ministry of state ministry of works. They have engineers, they have town planners, they have all these professionals are there. So it is for them. When you approved a project, at least you have to go through the drawings, whether they meet the standards and what have you, the structural drawings and everything are in place. But during the construction, who are those that are involved? Are you monitoring? Because you need to monitor. At least a building is springing up. Who are the professionals here? What are their CVs? Are they qualified? 2-story, 4-story buildings? You have a builder, you have a structural engineer, you have a mechanical, electrical engineers. But most of the times, our government agencies are not up and doing in this regard. They are not up and doing at all. Because when the building collapses, all you hear is there will be noise, and within 1 week, everything will die down. The next day, another building collapses again. And it also boils down to our professional bodies. We have the Institute of Buildings, we have the Nigerian Society of Engineers, we have Architect Registration Council, and many of those things. They also need to come in and regulate all these practices. As I've said, most of all these collapses are private-owned properties. And most of them, you don't even know how they are doing it, whether in the night or any other time. So, but the government agencies should be up and doing in the monitoring aspects. Because if a registered builder or a structural engineer that is registered or an architect is in a project, will be very mindful of what he's doing. Because a certificate and reputation is at stake. But most of the time, you don't see these people there. So, enforcement is the key. So once we enforce our rules and regulations, I think this is an issue of building collapse will be a thing of the past. You can see what happens mostly in Lagos. A one-story, a bungalow, for instance, will be going for another 2-3 stories without adequate designs. Just say, okay, wake up, we've been doing it over the years. Our forefathers have been building. It has never collapsed. So, and we have enough professionals in this country that are even looking for jobs. Let's engage them. Let's engage them so that we'll stop all this incessant building collapse and loss of life as a result of all these incidences.
Home ownership is a priority for most Nigerians. However, the accessibility has remained a dream for a significant proportion of the population due to limited sources of suitable financing and limited access to affordable housing.
Well, I think when we are talking about housing, we should look at our culture. But when you look at it, for you to build house in this country and be able to sell, you probably build in Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kano, probably Enugu, and some other places. If you go to some states, if you build house, even for 5 million, you may not get buyer. Because what is their income? And we do believe in this gradual building of their houses. It can take them 5 years to build their own house. They believe it's their own house. And we have not really encouraged local content in our constructions. Also, our grandfathers used mud to build their houses. Yeah. Some of them are still standing after over 50, 60, 70 years now. But now, how do we build now? Want to build with the concrete blocks, want to do this, want to do that. After you finish the construction, how much are you going to sell it? It becomes a problem. So, if government is talking of low-cost housing, you are only targeting the civil servant. What is the population of civil servants in Nigeria? Even civil servants, how many of them can even afford to buy all these houses? So, that's are the problems for us. That's why the developers also are targeting. You have a product. You have to target a buyer. So the product is who can buy my houses. That's why you see house estates are springing up in Abuja and Lagos and Port Harcourt, because they are willing buyers there, the high class people that can buy. So that's the problem of the housing deficit in Nigeria that we have. Even the one the Federal Ministry of Housing is building, how many people can be able to afford it? But all over the world, there are mortgage systems. Mortgage system enable you to pay gradually. Owner occupiers. I'll tell you hear of owner occupiers in Nigeria. You rent to own. You rent a house and you know this house is mine. So in the next 15, 20 years, that your rent you are paying is gradually your home. So the house becomes your own. So you don't feel pain. And you can also maintain the house because you know it's your own. But if you just rent a house, you just rent it and you go, you don't care. So government should look at that policy in this their mass housing effort. This rent to own or mortgage system. I know many people have even patronizing mortgage. But when it comes to delivering the house to them, how efficient are we in this regard? So I think we still have a long way to go. This issue of housing deficit. Well, when I was leaving university about 26 years ago, we were not even thinking of we can get a job. When this thing started gradually, we were not even sure that after our youth level we were going to get a job. So it's becoming increasingly difficult for a young graduate to get a job nowadays. And you can imagine the number of graduates we are turning out on a daily basis now. So I would just advise our young ones to start thinking out of the box. Not to look for white-collar jobs because they are not even there. To think of what they can do to help themselves. And it's only in other climes. It's not only white-collar job that you can do. It is job that can feed you money. Job is job, provided you have money there. But Nigerians will classify jobs. I can do this, I'm a graduate, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. Even without your being a graduate, put out your training into whatever you are doing, and there will be a difference. That's my take for them. Well, Engineer Wale Olale, I'm from Osun State. As I've said, I was able to gain admission to one of the best universities in this country. That is Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife, where I studied civil engineering. And over the years, I've been active participant in these industries, putting my best in whatever I do. With the motto of our company is precision, trust, integrity. Whatever I do, I put into it. By the grace of God, I am the national president of Great Ife Alumni Association now. So that also means a very big life for me to be able to do what is right at all times. Because alumni association like charity organization, going to give back to our alma mater. Because some of us enjoy the good old days of the university. Those that are there now, so as an alumni, I also trying one way or the other to harness the huge potential, because school has graduated many people that are in all the fields of human endeavor. How do we harness them? How do we bring them back to come and contribute to the development of their alma mater? So I'm married, beautiful wife, and with children. So I'm doing well. Glory be to God.
All right, sir, I want to say a very big thank you for making our time to be with us out of a busy schedule. We really appreciate your time, your contribution on the program. Thank you so much, and God bless you, sir.
You're welcome. Welcome. You are doing a very nice job.
Thank you.
All the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.